So Megan, what's in your heart that brings you to the subject of belonging as far as it relates to, international relocations and all of the low-grade traumas that can happen overseas, the small but impactful moves that we make, and the huge geographical changes that we have. Um, do all of those factor into your desire for belonging or to explore the subject?
Yeah, what a tremendous question. And I think it's a good thing that we're doing a podcast series to ask globally mobile people, also thought leaders on how do we define belonging. I think as a third culture kid, when we think about belonging, it's part of being known, it's part of having our story understood. When we have those cycles of relational loss and those disruptions of place over and over, how does that then impact our perception of belonging, of who knows us? How long does it take to develop a sense of home and community? And I think that as a protective mechanism, sometimes people who have had these high mobility experiences like TCKs or expats, sometimes we can be gatekeepers to our own belonging. Sometimes we think it is those impersonal forces or others that drive our belonging, but ultimately, I think we need to get back to who we are, heighten our own self-awareness, self-love, self-understanding, self-care of how we have the agency at any given moment to belong. Yes, sometimes it can take weeks, months, years, but at the very core of belonging, I think it's being willing to be human with someone. And and so I want us to hear from others, then how do we be human with others?
I think that's a great way to put it. And I'm really curious about what our guests are going to say and how they're going to answer that question. Now, we are going to interview a variety of guests. Can you tell me what kind of guests we're going to interview? Just a couple of them. Just
Yeah, I'm really excited. We're interviewing people who have grown up all over different countries. We're talking global north, global south. We're talking to people who have done research uh, on the third culture kid profile. We're talking with people who are in the intersection of what does it mean to have belonging in career, in home, in place, and generational ways. So I think we have a variety of voices, a variety of experiences, and I think that's really going to create a multifaceted understanding of what belonging can mean.
so, what do we hope that our audience is going to get out of this? Shall I go first? I just say that I think I would love our audiences to glean the understanding of how wide the topic is and how vast the topic is, and actually how it dovetails into other things. And in my case, it dovetails into grief. But for others, it may dovetail into pure geography or a pure sense of location or home. And so I am just really hoping that we can have some conversations that will open the door for our listeners to think about it and encourage a lot of self-reflection, perhaps, and reach a different space internally about belonging.
I would completely agree, Doreen. When you floated the idea of creating this series, I thought this is so relevant, this is so important and poignant to have these dialogues because especially now with political polarization, with social divides, we're hearing in the media, sometimes in our families, a growing sense of reports of loneliness and isolation, we need to get back to conversations of listening, of dialoguing, of discussing ways can we heal ourselves, cultivate connection. And so I'm really hoping this series will inspire action, that it will empower listeners to heighten their own sense of personal identity and collective identity. And how do we relate to the complexities of stories? I think the stories, the ideas, and solutions are hopefully going to drive change to give us hope to be more inclusive and supportive of each other. If we think about the word belong, it literally means to go with. And so let's go with the interviewees and the listeners together in this project.
I love it. You just said it so perfectly, and as you always do. And I just think that is so complete. And this is our why. This is the heart of why we are doing this specific podcast. And we invite you, listeners, to follow along. Any last minute comments, Megan?
Doreen, I'm looking forward to just having these really great conversations, feeling that belonging in this space is creating a peace and connection, and reminds us that we're not alone.
Absolutely. And who doesn't, I don't know anyone who doesn't require a very strong dose of peace and connection in today's world. So thank you so much for joining me today. And listeners, we would love it if you would follow along, listen, like, and review Nomadic Diaries. So we'll see you in the next podcast.